Hello? Welcome to the introduction video of the Multitech Automatic Transformer Test System. Today we will examine in detail the no-load loss test, load loss test, induced voltage test, and high voltage high-pot test performed with the transformer test system along with the result reporting. We use software developed specifically for the automatic transformer test system. To use this software, switch the system from manual mode to PC mode. On the login panel, a username and password are displayed first. After entering the username and password, the system establishes a connection with the PLC and the power analyzer. After the connections are established, we proceed to the nameplate information section. Here we can see the transformer's report number, transformer type, material as aluminum or copper, number of phases, and whether it is hermetic or dry type. We save this data in Excel format. The high voltage and low voltage values must be entered in kilovolts. If the transformer's rated voltage is 33 kilovolts, we must enter it as 33 kilovolts. We must fill in the total number of tap positions, rated tap, connection group, vector group, frequency, manufacturer, temperature, and humidity values accurately and completely. After entering the nameplate information correctly, we click the Confirm button. The system first directs us to the no-load loss test. For the no-load loss test, the serial number entered in the nameplate information section is filled in automatically. It also retrieves the test voltage and the protection voltage from the nameplate information. The system automatically sets the protection voltage to 10% higher than the entered test voltage. If this protection voltage is exceeded, the system will stop automatically. The protection current is set based on the transformer's estimated no-load current. We select this current provided that it is lower than the current position settings. If we enter the protection current as 4, we can select either 5 amps or 10 amps. Whichever voltage step we select, the contactor for that voltage step is energized. In slow, medium, and fast modes, the test system adjusts the variac speed of the transformer test system. After selecting the current and voltage ranges, let's start the test automatically. When the current and voltage ranges are selected, the current and voltage scaling values are automatically sent to the analyzer. The system continues increasing the voltage until it reaches the entered test voltage. As the test voltage is approached, the variac speed is reduced. When the desired test voltage is reached, all data is recorded. If we select yes for do you approve the test, the phase voltages A, B, and C, the average voltage, average current, %I0 value, and no load loss are displayed on the screen. After pressing the save button here, all data will be saved automatically. This is how our no load loss test is performed. Next, let's make the connections for the load loss test. The transformer connections have been completed for the load loss test. Next, for the load loss test, the system automatically retrieves the test current and serial number from the nameplate information. Depending on the target test current, the system automatically sets the current protection voltage to 10% above the test current. We must select the protection voltage according to the limit in the short circuit test. In the short circuit test, the voltage step should be selected based on the expected applied voltage required to reach the target current. As the test current measures 0.87 amperes, selecting the 5 ampere current scale is suitable. Since we entered the protection voltage as 1.6 kilovolts, we can select either the 2 kilovolts or 3 kilovolts voltage step. Based on the selected voltage step, the relevant contactors are energized and the system is activated. After pressing the start button, the test begins automatically. In the load loss test, as the current approaches the target value, the variac slows down automatically and the test ends when the current reaches 0.87 amps. After measuring the average current of 0.87 amps, when we select yes for do you approve the test, all data will be saved. At the end of the test, the phase voltages A, B, and C, the average voltage, the average current, and %UK as short circuit impedance are displayed. This is how the load loss test is performed. Next, we move on to the induced voltage test. In the induced voltage test, using the serial number entered in the nameplate information, a test voltage equal to twice the secondary rated voltage will be applied. The system automatically sets the protection voltage again based on the 10% value, and we also need to enter the protection current. Our test duration is 40 seconds. The frequency generator used in this system is 150 Hz. That is 3 times the transformer's rated frequency, which indicates a test duration of 40 seconds. We can start this test in automatic mode without selecting anything. First, the motor is activated. Then, the generator is activated. The test frequency is 150 Hz. Current and voltage are applied to the transformer at 150 Hz. When the average voltage reaches 800 volts, the timer starts automatically. After our 40-second duration ends, the system will automatically finish the test without pressing any button. If there is no issue, it automatically saves the test in the report section. Next, we proceed to the high voltage test. In the high voltage test, it retrieves the serial number from the transformer nameplate at the beginning. The protection voltage is automatically set to 10% above the test voltage. We enter the test voltage value manually. In the high voltage test, our duration is 60 seconds. We start the test automatically without selecting any speed mode. In the high voltage test, when the entered test voltage is reached, the timer starts automatically. When the time reaches 60 seconds, the test ends automatically without pressing any button. We can select the test by report number and export the data to Excel. The MTTS 12 model test system automatically performs 4 tests. The no load loss test, load loss test, induced voltage test, and applied voltage test are automatically filled in by the system in the report. Other tests such as winding resistance and turns ratio must be entered manually into the blank sections of the report page. In the report, the results of the induced voltage test and the applied voltage test are stated as passed or failed. Additionally, for these tests, the applied duration and the test voltage are shown. In the no load loss test, where no load loss and current are measured, all measured values are automatically added here. In the analysis tab, all tests performed within the entered date range can be viewed. The no load loss test, induced voltage test, and applied voltage test can be selected individually or all together. Here we can view how many tests were performed and which serial number was used. In the settings section, new users can be added by defining usernames and passwords with different roles besides admin. Our software includes Turkish and English language options. We can also perform all tests manually that we normally run via the computer. This feature allows us to continue testing easily in case of any computer malfunction. First, we switch the test mode from PC mode to manual mode. Then, we reset the power analyzer. We select the current range and the voltage range. We use the loss test option for the load loss and no load loss tests. We use the induction test option for the induced voltage test. There is a high put out button for the high voltage test. Since we will perform the load loss test, we select load loss test. Here we enter the rated values of the transformer's secondary and primary sides. We also need to enter the PT as potential transformer ratio and the CT as current transformer ratio. On the information panel in the loss test section, we can view the current and voltage transformer ratios according to the selected current and voltage ranges. Since I selected the PT range as 3 kV, I enter 30 volts, and since I selected the CT range as 5 amperes, I enter 5 amperes. Then I press the begin button to start the test. On the power analyzer screen during the load loss test, we display the voltages, currents, and losses. Here we increase the voltage using the voltage up button. We can also adjust the speed of the motor on the variac using speed control. I increase the voltage until the tested transformer reaches its primary rated current. When the desired current is reached, we can see the loss value. We can see the voltage for each phase. We can also see the current values for each phase. We can also print out the test results. After completing the test, we end it by pressing the stop button. We can also view the induced voltage test from this screen. Today, we reviewed the Multitech MTTS transformer test system together. See you in our next product introduction video.